Hello, and welcome to this episode of, well, it's our pre show, actually. I just went straight into the episode. Listen, this is the pre show. This is our pre show promo for the episode that's about to happen at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific on Win Win Women TV. And for those of you who just saw that video, I want to encourage you to become a Miami art globetrotter. Find artwork inspired by Africa, the Caribbean, Latin America, and around the world at Art of Black Miami. So go to artofblackmiami.com to find out more, because this is this time of the year. So much Art Basel, so much art in Miami. So if you haven't yet made plans to come down, come on down and check it out. Welcome to all of you who are joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, I will encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/@AliciaCurry. And when you go there, we have tons of content around personal development, growth, anything to make you develop and become the more awesome you that you can be. We try to bring that to you on our channel with amazing guests and content that we source for you for that. So I'm here to give you a preview of our show coming up, right? So our show is Unleash Your Audacious Confidence. Like I said earlier, it's on Win Win Women TV. I'll be the host. And unfortunately, we promoted our guest, Julia, but she was ill today. You know, things happen, right? Emergencies happen. People can't make it. So we've had to make a pivot today on the show. Don't you love that when you have to make a last minute pivot? But I so appreciate Jennifer Horsepool, who is her agent, that notified us as soon as possible so we can make that switch. So we have a little switch. We will have Julia on the show, just not today. I'll let you know when she'll be back. She'll be rebooking to come back on the show. And we were going to talk about the holidays, about eating, you know, when you have an eating disorder or you have challenges with food and the holidays come around, how that could be a difficult time of the year for you. And she was going to share with us some of the tips and really strategies that you can use during the holiday season. So look out for that. We will get together with Julia, so that we can share that info with you. But we came up with something around the season too to share that could be a little bit challenging. And our topic today is when the holidays suck. When do the holidays suck? And I have 3 instances that we're going to unpack during our show of when sometimes you can have bah humbug during the holiday season. And bah humbug, and the reason I'm pointing this out is not necessarily only for the people who are going through this during the holiday season, because there are some people who are going through this kind of bah humbug. It's like they don't want to be the Grinch, but the holidays are just really a difficult time for them. But also for people who are around them to recognize that they may be in pain during the holidays. They may have issues going on that you're not aware of, that your bright, cheery holiday spirit might actually be bringing them down even more. And so this is just something to bring awareness to. Not everybody loves the holiday season. Not everybody's cheery about the holiday season. And actually, I was when I got the message that my guest had to cancel today, had to postpone for today, I was speaking to my sister on the phone. Hey, Lizelle, I just give her a little shout out. And she made this necklace for me, by the way. So you see my AC. So I was speaking to her. She's a jewelry maker, by the way. And her birthday is actually 2 days after Christmas. And so she was sharing with me, as someone who has a birthday close to Christmas, how challenging that is for her. And I have an uncle who was born on Christmas Day, and he was always very quiet around Christmas Day because everybody is wishing everybody else a Merry Christmas, but wasn't really wishing him a happy birthday. So she was saying, that having a birthday around the holidays, and let me just put up, because I started talking before I actually was finished sharing how you can join us on the show. Go to redcarpetceo.com if you want to be a part of our live studio audience today and come in and not just hear our message, but also participate, because once we share the content of the show today, we will open up the lines. You can unmute yourself, you can turn your camera on, and we'll have a conversation about this. But so go to redcarpetceo.com to be a part of the show. But as we were talking about the holidays suck, when the holidays suck, she said, so birthdays and celebrations can sometimes overshadow the holidays. And the holidays can overshadow your birthday or other celebrations. And so sometimes people who have birthdays from, let's say, from Halloween to the middle of January, it can sometimes be a difficult period for them because they're not celebrated like they want to. There are some people that celebrate me. And I understand that, because I wasn't someone who would celebrate my birthday either very much. Exactly. There you go, Tavon. Thank you for that. People who have recently empty nested, they have young adults away for their first holiday. Yes, pre-bah humbug. Work in sales, Q4 can be intense. Absolutely. I didn't even think about that one, Lou, because that can be a difficult time. I know the first one for me was seasonal depression. A lot of people get depressed around this time of the holidays. They get depressed for many reasons. And one of it could be empty nesters, Tivon. Another one could be soldiers who are deployed. They're missing home. Their family is missing them. That could be a very difficult time of the season. So some people could get into seasonal depression around this time of the year. I know for me, and I'll go a little bit deeper into this during the show at 5. So if you want to be a part of the show, join us live 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific, and I'll talk a little bit about seasonal depression, because I found that for many, many years, I was going through seasonal depression and I didn't even realize it. I just, thought I was blue over the holiday, like the holidays just made me blue. But I recognize what it was, and I'll share with you how I recognize what it was and what I did to shift that for myself. So we're going to talk about that during the show. And then you guys brought up, such great points about people not being there. And that comes to my third point, is grief around the holidays. Grief, the loss of a loved one. Maybe you lost them during the course of the year, and this is your first holiday without them. That could be really difficult. Or you lost someone over the holiday season, and every year it reminds you of the loss. And so that can be really, really difficult for some people. So while our guest that was scheduled was supposed to talk about eating disorders and finding ways and finding strategies through the holidays with food that's going to be all around you, this is something else. As I was talking to my sister, that she said, some people really struggle during the holiday season. I'm not an expert in depression. I'm not an expert on this, but I think it deserves a conversation around it. So I would love for you guys to join us on the show. Come be a part of our live studio audience so we can have a conversation around this. Yes, people who are struggling financially, absolutely, Tavon. People who are struggling financially, this is a really difficult time because you have to feed, Thanksgiving, you have Christmas, you have New Year's, people want to celebrate and they want to have food and the gifts. And it can be a really stressful time of the year because, when you're living paycheck to paycheck and you don't have necessarily the funds to do the things that you want to be able to do over the holidays, that can also create that bah humbug experience for you over the holidays. But how can you really navigate this these challenges over the holidays? And that's kind of what I want to talk about. Man, Tavon, you better come be my guest on the next show, because you're like giving me all the all the different scenarios here. So yes, so you actually, this is why I was in seasonal depression, this very, very thing. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that on the show, about what it is. I know you are so blessed. You've got a blessed family, blessed life. And, even in the midst of these challenging times, we can find blessings. And it's about being in gratitude for what you do have. And that's just a little tidbit, but I don't want to give away everything, because I do want you to come to the show. So if you want to come join us, we're going to have this conversation about when the holidays for you or someone that you know and love just sucks. So join me live at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific. We're always live on Mondays for the Win-Win Women on Win-Win Women TV. So if you go to redcarpetceo.com, there's a button when you scroll up, there's a button that says join us live. Click that button, and when we go live, the button will illuminate. You can come right into the studio audience. Come into the studio audience with your cameras off, muted. That way, it's not disrupting the content of the show, because the show actually, as it's being recorded, then goes to Roku, Amazon, and Apple TV. So we have the show, and then once I say goodbye to that show, like if you ever joined a studio audience before, we wrap up the show and we say goodbye, but you stick around, because when you stick around, then we are able to have this really deep conversation. And sometimes we have really great deep conversations with our audience. So I want you to be a part of that. So come join us, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific, on redcarpetceo.com. There's a link on redcarpetceo.com to come in and join us on the show. And I also want to encourage you, I want to share that we do have our podcast that's coming back next year, Leading with Audacious Confidence. But if you go to our YouTube channel, you can watch all the episodes of our podcast. It is really, really powerful. We have leaders, we have people who coach leaders, sharing, CEOs sharing how they got to where they are, and what it took for them to get there, and what it would take for you to get there as well. So go check that out. So there you go, Tavon. Thank you. Correct. Always looking at the glass as overflow regardless. It's not easy out there, but thankful for this platform. I'm thankful for this platform and for the opportunity to share with you as well. So please come on and join us today. redcarpetceo.com. And if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me. You can find me on alicia360.com. You can connect with me on all social platforms. You can find our websites, find what I'm up to, send me messages, email, text, WhatsApp, everything. Just go to alicia360.com and you can follow me and connect with me on that platform. All right. I will see you guys next week. Hopefully we will have our guest, Julia, who is meant to be with us today. We will have her back. And I think it will be a phenomenal, phenomenal show. So come join us for this one, because it's kind of an interesting topic. I didn't really think of it until I was talking to my sister. I mean, if you are celebrating a birthday around this time, do you really celebrate over the top? Or are you one of those who minimize your birthday because everyone's celebrating other things during this time of the year, and you feel left out and left behind? That's an interesting conversation, I think, because it's time for us to step out, find our confidence, and celebrate regardless. Okay, see you guys live at 5 in just less than 45 minutes. All right. Love you all and happy holidays to you all.